Alrighty, PG-13. Now, we've discussed the Super 7 figures, and some people are saying good things and bad things and everything in between. So we're going to just basically get a closer look at an 84 figure, since we will be getting a Duke. Now, sorry for the lighting. The lighting here is not always the best, but you can see Duke's legs is a little bit skinny, and it seems like all of these figures follow the same type of like thighs being too skinny. So they're a little too thin on the legs, and you know, that's just, well, kind of, you know, following this Duke, you can see that, yeah, I can see that, this Duke, but he's still a little bit, you know, meatier, beefier. So what Super 7 needs to do is get some better leg sculpts, make them a little bit thicker in the legs. The top half seems to be not too bad. You know, get your proportions proper. I mean, it is just the first wave only, so, you know, don't cheap out on that tiny extra bit of plastic. That'll make the figure a little better. And we do have, you know, other, oh, there goes the dominoes, other figures to compare to. But even the Hooded Cobra Commander, his legs, you know, are a little bit thicker. So don't skimp out on the plastic, and try to get the same type of vintage feel that we know and come to expect in our figures. And don't say you can't do it, because we have Delta 17 figures right here in hand, and they do have the feel, and they do feel exactly like our vintage. So don't tell me you can't do it. Now, you know, they had adventure people in the, was it 60s, 70s, 80s? They had swivel necks, so ball joint necks was not a thing Hasbro created. So you can definitely see that, you know, I don't mind the 82 to 84 side to side head swivel, but the ball joint is superior and it is nice. So maybe in the future, Brian, when you sell a lot more figures, then you can improve upon the figures a little better. And you know, the Snake Eyes is not that bad, but again, he's not comic book accurate because he's not jet black. So I mean, we're having another look at these because it's so exciting. Now, you know, I don't mind his sword. It's not as bad as his bulky machine gun, so I just took a weapons pack machine gun, put it in there. Now, if the hands do feel too loose, again, you can do the 30-second rule, is dip it in hot boiling water. Don't burn yourself, but you dip it in hot boiling water and then you put it under cold water, 20 to 30 seconds, and then you put it under the cold water as you squeeze it, and it should take a better shape if you want to, you know, make the hands tighter to fit vintage weapons. And like I said, they're going to come out with Duke, Ramar. Now, I'm not sure if it is a Crimson Guard they're going to make next, or Snow Serpent, but it all depends on where they're going. I mean, you got Crimson Guard commanders, so what makes sense to have Crimson Guards to command. And if they did that, maybe 20 or 50 I'd buy. And just, you know, when you throw in the extra taxes and duties, then that works out to be $12.50 for 50 figures. That's Canadian, and you're pricing them at $25 a figure just to get that price point. Same with, like, I just rounded up, so 20 figures, you just round up to 400, even though it's, or sorry, 500. So some things I will army build a lot of, some things a little less. But I am loving the fact that we do have an O-ring line again. And just look at what we can do, you know. We can actually mix certain parts. So you can take a vintage head and put it on well, a Super 7 body, but I don't think you can do it the other way around yet. Now, some people might have critiqued it and done it, but like I just showed you, the Cobra officer body, you know, you can do that with her head, and you can make a Cobra agent, an agent of Cobra. And that's the whole fun of customs. You can mix match the parts. I don't mind this head sculpt at all. It's not a bad head sculpt for Cobra Commander. Now, if you just really hate the fact that his body doesn't have the holster, you can switch his head and put it on a different body. And most likely it will fit on one of the Cobra Commanders, from maybe what Hasbro just made to the vintage. I mean, we got some pretty cool figures that Hasbro did give us, like the Wayne for the Sky Striker, wherever he went. I had him on the table here. Oh, he fell over. Okay, so again, like you can see, his legs are beefier than the Super 7 legs. So, and it doesn't feel too bad, even though he's a matte finish, which, you know, the dullness of a figure is just not great. The semi-gloss shows that you appreciate the figure, and it has that classic shine, just like the Delta 17 figures. I mean, you know, you can compare female to female, male to male, or whatever you want. But again, these figures are just great. You know, they are way more pricier, like $32 a figure. I'm not going to be army building as much. Sorry, Ken. But, you know, I do love the figures, so I will be buying more slowly. But for Super 7 figures, priced at $20, that works out to be like $25 when you add up all the extras. So it's not too bad that way. Whereas that extra dollars, you know, you just can't army build at that price. But again, I do love the Delta 17 figures. And, you know, don't tell me you can't make them similar to, you know, similar to our vintage figures. I mean, these ones even have swivel hands. But this is like the bats. You know, this one does have the hands that come off as well. But these are higher price point. So they are okay to army build, but again, it's just a little bit more pricier. So the bats does feel nice, but some of this plastic, like for this Snake Eyes, he should have been in the black. It just makes it feel cheap. You know, he should have been all black, like you can see. Jet black. Vintage jet black. Even more modern. Oh, he's doing something funky with his legs there. The more modern, like Snake Eyes, you know, jet black. Without that black, you know, it's just not, I'm just not liking him as much. You know, I would have bought a lot more of the Snake Eyes if he was jet black. But he's not, so he looks okay, but again, his visors could use like a little more detail. I mean, the vintage has more lines, so maybe that's more shape to it. And, you know, he doesn't have his mouth. Kind of like that. The normal look. And everybody loves this look. So, I mean, if Hasbro didn't let you do that because they're going to make him in the future, then I could understand that. But you still have to detail the visor better. And like I said, I am loving the fact that we're getting new O-ring figures, but the legs, they all have to be beefed up because they're just a little bit too small. So I mean, you can see it just looks like, it doesn't look right. The bottom half of the figure doesn't look right. I mean, it works for Cobra Commander. The bats is not too bad. He is a touch thicker. But it just, something's off there. I don't know. I mean, I love the bats. We'll get some more bats. But, you know, I'm super excited still. Like, you know, we're going to get Ramar, Duke. So probably a Crimson Guard. And, You think they're gonna go play it safe and give us a Baroness or something, maybe a Destro? You never know. If anybody knows what the next 6 figures are coming for this line, then please let me know. I mean, if they did give us that Cobra Viper pilot and Viper pilot officer, again, I'd be buying the crap out of them. Might buy 20 each, no problem. If you're willing to make the figures we want, we're going to buy the crap out of them. You make the Cobra soldiers and officers in the style that you got, I'll be buying probably 50 soldiers. And again, I told you the price point for Canada, that's $12.50. That's not so bad. 50 figures. Now, I didn't talk too much about the packaging, so we're going to look at, this is a vintage package, and this actually feels stronger, and you can see it's official. We have Super 7 bats, and then they got the file card on the back. I don't know how well the lighting will work here, so we have a little handheld lighting. Well, that didn't work so great, but you can see this file card. I don't know how well it'll come in, but anyways, it's all it's cool. It's solid, and it's got the cross sell there with the 4 figures. First wave. They should have put the Crimson Twins on, because it is part of the line, is it not? But you can see Cobra the Enemy, just fantastic looking. And here's the vintage type of card, so it is nice, it's beautiful. Will I keep the bats in the package? Maybe. Did all of my packages come out pretty nice when I ordered it? Some were bent, some weren't, but I didn't care because I opened most of my figures anyways. Now let me know in the comments down below what you love about Super 7 and what they can fix, because the O-ring issue is an issue. That causes the figures to go a little wonky. I mean, we have a Delta 17 figure here in the package, and that is nice too. So again, go to delta17toys.com and order, but they are a little more pricier, 25 something American and 32 Canadian. Just to, you know, compare some stuff, because I love stuff. And don't forget, try to mix and match stuff and see what'll fit. The Snake Eyes head, I would like to try a different one to see if it'll fit on this body, but you never know. And again, we do have a blue Snake Eyes, but he's got jet black, so the jet black looks nice. I mean, we did the comparisons. This is sorry, not as great, because it's almost like a purple instead of a blue. Actually, this is blue and this is purple. So the jet black makes the figure, and that's what I'm gonna say. He's not jet black, so he's not my Commando Ninja. He's just another doll figure. He's not so bad, but again, I like my Snake Eyes jet black. You got a problem with that? And I hope you enjoy the videos, because I'm still super excited about Super 7. So Cobra! We'll have to talk